Leadership, like any other activity, is perishable. A musician, an athlete, they practice, they rehearse. When I was on active duty, we would rehearse the mission before we went downrange and executed the mission. And being a leader is really no different. And that's one of the reasons I developed this course, because I see leaders not honing their skill, not practicing it on a daily basis. And when the moment materializes where they have to be a good leader, oftentimes they're not. Ideally, you're going to get to your own definition of leadership. As you build your personal brand, as you cultivate your career, you really want to have your own interpretation or your own word-for-word definition, which could evolve and change over time. Great CEOs or great leaders, they know when it's enough, and they say, it's time to move on this. I don't have everything I want, but I have enough, it's time to move. And if you drag things out, your team will see that, and ultimately they're going to suffer from your indecision. As a team member, you support leadership 100%. There's no 75%, there's no 50%, there's no, we're going to obey that order starting tomorrow. As somebody on a team, you have got to be 100% on board. Agree or disagree, doesn't matter. You have to be 100% on board. As a leader, you have to require your people to be 100% on board. There's no, sometimes we go with what the boss says, and sometimes we just think he's crazy. As a leader, you have to require 100%. And the third thing is, when people don't come up with 100%, take a close look at the situation and see if there's a path for recovery.
I served in the Navy for 26 years, and I learned a lot about leadership, and I've been in the private sector for 10 years. The things that I've learned, both through success and through failure, have given me a presentation that's given me information that I want to share with you that will optimize your leadership ability for the rest of your professional life.
There was something more based on my experience, my growing up in the military, and the fact that we had to have leadership training every step of the way. Before you could promote to the next rank, you had to go through this different level of training. And so there was just something more that I wanted for my team. A leader enables other people to do what it is they're trying to accomplish, what it is they're trying to do. Leaders, ultimately, if they've been groomed properly and trained and educated and they have the experience, you create an enabling environment, you motivate people, you inspire them to get to where it is they're trying to get to. And as I tell people in this organization, when they come on board, 10 years from now, I want them to look back at their time at iFly Virginia Beach and say, I'm so glad I worked there, because now I was able to move on to whatever. That job prepared me for whatever the next thing was.
Pay attention to on a daily basis, you're going to optimize your performance. You're going to be stronger, you're going to be smarter, you're going to see things that other people don't see. In business, that's a very good thing. It's called recognizing opportunity, or creating opportunity where it doesn't necessarily exist. But in order: rest, hydration, nutrition, exercise, brain and heart health, and lifelong learning.
So what I call the science of leadership. So these 6 things: rest, hydration, nutrition, exercise, brain and heart health, and lifelong learning, I consider that to be the scientific component of leadership. So a lot of people think the science of leadership is this linear decision making and a logic matrix. For me, this is the science of leadership. It's really a physiological thing more than anything else.
If one of those changes, it will likely affect one or all of the other things.
as a leader, you should have some type of foundation. You should have some consciousness of how I'm going to lead today, how I'm going to lead tomorrow, how I'm going to lead for the rest of my life, whatever it is. And if you don't have one, we're going to build one. And if you have one, we're going to evolve it. And as I said earlier, leadership is perishable. It's something that if we don't rehearse and practice and think about on a regular basis, we become less efficient at it, just like anything else. Anything you pay attention to, you become better at or you know more about. And so leadership, I think, it warrants a high level of attention from everybody.